So I would like to welcome you to the product category rules roundtable, and as the name indicates, it's really about international product category rule development, and today particularly about different initiatives that are exploring or really working on product category rules, and that we would like to take a look at together and gather feedback on. And just to give you a very quick overview, the PCR roundtable started as indicated a couple of summits ago. I think we kind of started with the third PCF World Summit, but that's where it kind of emerged as a first need almost to like with all the different initiatives taking place, to align more closely how we actually come up with internationally aligned product category rules. And from that first discussion, a group kind of was formed comprising of the most important initiatives really working on product category rules. So a lot of them are here in the room today, like the French initiative or the UK initiative with Past 2050, and then implementing also product category rules thinking, the World Resources Institute with the Greenhouse Gas Protocol, who are here partly. Some of them would have liked to come but couldn't, but we'll definitely look at the outcomes of our discussion today. And organizations like the Sustainability Consortium, like the Swedish initiative, Envirodec and GetNet, the Japanese system that is also really ambitiously developing product category rules, and others. And so this group was formed, and we called it the PCR Task Force, which kind of organized itself through different mostly web meetings, but sometimes also meetings, and is, one could say, like a more informal group, because we don't have a formal structure or mandate or funding, but an informal group or network of these organizations to really exchange what is happening around product category rule development, and taking that back to their own initiatives. And then to implement that, as you can see, for example, I think CIREC in Quebec is a good example, how our discussion kind of influenced, okay, well, how do they go about the program now, and others. And also we invited, at the last PCF World Summits, interested people to also engage in the discussion with the product category rules roundtable, to also gather input and broaden understanding. And there are some ideas that have emerged from the task force discussions and also the roundtable discussions on what would be most beneficial for PCR alignment. And we don't want to go into details of these today, but one is, for example, to establish a PCR registry, which is now done by GetNet and others, and we will hear about that today, and can see together like in how far it really helps driving international PCR alignment. And there are some others, like really agreeing on common guidance for PCR internationally. There's some work going on there. It will be needed to do some further. And today we would really see, well, the initiatives that are most hardly working on this, what is the current development there. And I would like then to invite you to, after each presentation, to give feedback. And this feedback we will also distribute to those organizations present in the PCR task force, like the World Resources Institute with the Greenhouse Gas Protocol and the others, so that they can also, take your feedback into consideration. What we will do is Annemarie Kerkhoff, who is also like kind of part of the foundations of the PCR task force with Priess and Mark Ruthop behind. She will take notes when, like after each presentation, you have feedback to them or particular questions, so that we record them. And we decided to put up a beamer so you can follow a bit. I think you cannot all read it really, but so you can at least see that we're taking it and can take a look later on if it was captured correctly or not. So to not lose much more time, I really would like to give each of the speakers the floor, and I have to respect the order that we agreed on earlier, or I agreed on earlier with myself. I'm taking the overview here, and so we have about 6 presentations, and then we see where we are with time. We are planning to have a coffee break at the end of the session. So before we move into the wrap-up in the main plenary with everybody, there's supposed to be a coffee break. So we will try to respect that time, of course, so that at 4:30 we can kind of close this session. I think we are running a bit behind time, so I have to see, maybe do it 50 minutes later, or I think the wrap-up in the main plenary can also be done faster than I think the 1 hour that we have planned so far. I think actually we can do it in much shorter. So time shouldn't not be too much of an issue, but we have a lot of presentations. So anyway, I invite them to kind of do a speedy presentation, and then really that we have feedback. And we will, or before I call up the first speaker, any questions on the session today? No, that is not the case. So then I would like to ask Karen Fischer from ERM, Environmental Resources and Management, to actually give us a first overview on international product guidance development. I think she has done a significant effort to bring some order into what is happening around the world, which we have also tried, and I'm really curious to see what else you have identified, and this will help us as a starting point for the discussion to really get an overview of what all is already happening. And Karen Fischer has been heavily involved in a lot of the footprinting work that has been done in the past. I believe with Tesco, a lot of the Tesco work is like really based on her shoulders, and so I think we are up for a good insight and starting point for our later discussion.